Assets and Arbitrage. Today is Saturday, April 13th, in the year of our Lord 2024. We don't have a lot for you today because it's Saturday and y'all should be out and about having fun this spring.
Yes, indeed.
Hit them their reminders first.
Yeah, so we always want to say be stacking, stacking, stacking ounces, sats, and anything else that you may be involved in. There's a lot of good opportunities out there. We will be going over in the future where you can put some of your money away, some of your pennies away, and but we still got to talk to people, vet certain things, right, and make sure it is what it is. But when you're just talking about actual stacking, you already know when you get your Bitcoin, you get your silver, gold, that's real. God's money, as they say, God's money. So I came over something this morning that
Well, baby, let's let a few people
okay.
come in the room before we get right to it.
Okay, all right.
Few other reminders.
There we go.
Y'all know Bitcoin Zay's book is coming out in June. June will be here faster than you think. If you guys are interested in ordering his book, you can send us an email so we can get you the details so you get your pre-sale orders in. And any other information you want to know about the book. One of the things that we are super duper duper enthusiastic about is that he's got a whole entire chapter on 33 ways for you to earn Bitcoin and not have to purchase it. One of those ways we talk about often is utilizing your activity. So for those of you who want to get your steps in, this should motivate you to get even more steps in. You guys can download the S Miles app. We are not sponsored by any of these people. We are simply supporting the content family. Okay. So it's important that if there's something you can do in order to support your content cousins, please try to do so. You can download S Miles, and I'm going to say you earn about 1 sat per 1,000 steps. So it's a great alternative way to earn Bitcoin.
Yep.
But it's also a great way to get the family involved, especially for you guys who have older children, about 13 and up. They can get in on it, start earning their own Bitcoin, establishing their own wallets and stuff like that. And we are all about getting family involved. Hi, cousin T. Willine. How you doing?
T. Willine. T. Willine.
Another reminder is BK Crypto. Your content cousin has swag. He got the drip. He got the sauce. And understand that a lot of those proceeds from you buying the Bitcoin swag goes towards their educational group. They are heavy in the physical networking in Brooklyn, getting the community involved, getting children, getting teenagers, young people involved in understanding what Bitcoin is, how it can benefit them, helping them establish generational wealth, and doing all of the things that a lot of us don't necessarily have access to.
Yeah.
So supporting your content cousin, BK Crypto, is uber important because, again, he has an audience access that we don't have access to, that you don't have access to. And he is helping Brooklyn to get established in Bitcoin adoption. T. Willine said, hit that like button. We appreciate you guys so much for supporting us. It's Saturday, so we are going to wait for a few people to pile into the room.
Yeah, this was because we weren't going to go live today, but we seen some things that I said, well, let's talk about this because it happened on Friday. I said, might as well talk about it on Saturday. I guess you could call it time sensitive, but just an overview and overlay of what we're dealing with out here in these streets as we try to build our wealth, and we can't let these things that these people do push us down. We can't. Sometimes you see the stuff, you feel like you up, and then they push it down, and it kind of takes the wind out of your sails. So we got to keep fighting a good fight, and I got a couple. We typically don't do technical analysis shows, but I got a few charts that I just think we should go over and look and just understand what is going on and what is being done. not on a weekly basis, but just
Too often.
too often, far too often, as they say.
All right, we got people piling into the room. Tron
Right.
7000, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for getting your contact cousins to smash them likes. Colonel Bronx Don. Oh my lord, I done mismatched your whole handle together, Colonel.
Yeah.
Crazy Bronx Don, aka the Colonel, Fulbert Colonel of the United States Air Force. Thank you for your service, sir. We are so glad to have you in the room. BK Crypto, boom, stepped in the room. You just missed our advertisement for you. I'm gonna remind you guys piling in the room now. Support your cousin BK Crypto.
Yeah.
Get that swag, get that drip, get that sauce. Right in the drop box. It's one hit. Order
Yeah.
what you need to order. If you guys have any issues with your order, have questions or anything like that, you know you can reach out to me and BK Crypto, and I will talk about whatever needs to get fixed, done. You're gonna have the best and highest quality customer service, as well as the best experience, which is swag, y'all. T-Will line man for hire. People out here paper handing.
Yeah,
Wait,
they are.
wait, what?
they
People
are.
out here paper handing, they scurred over 10%.
Yeah, they are. That's
Oh, paper. I get I'm
and-
slow today.
yeah, we
Paper hands.
like I said, we've been in the game a long time. We see these ups and downs. You just gotta don't even think about it. Like a lot of people I've been seeing, on the Twitter feed, and I was looking, everybody's scared and all this. Man, we've been around, man, since the cowboy days. So this ain't nothing. And I'm gonna talk about this now.
We're gonna talk about this.
I got enough. I can do it. You say I can go in?
I was gonna wait till about 25 people got in the room. We're at 18.
Okay. All right.
Just because a lot of them do complain, like we didn't get to the meat and the potatoes, and they missed that whole part.
Yeah, because we get right into it.
Yeah, because we get right into it.
Right.
Have you experienced any jankiness from S Miles lately? Yes, right? S Miles is not perfect. I don't know if it's in beta testing. I don't know anything about the app. I do know that sometimes it's not a real-time pedometer counter. So that's problem one, right? If we can get them to kind of fix some stuff. Two, I'm not sure how great Google Fit is. I know people swear by it, but that's not a real-time pedometer, and that drives me crazy too. So I can understand if some of you guys are a little bit frustrated that it's not getting the most accurate count, but understand they're giving away free sats. It's going to be harder than something that is just counting your steps, right?
Yeah.
So you want to kind of count that into its jankiness, is that they're literally giving away free money. Right? See it that way. So yes, glitches, this, that, all of these little obstacles are going to come in to try to reduce, eliminate all of these little things. But again, it's free.
Yes.
So we want to just thank the Lord God Almighty for the little bit of things that we do get, and just be patient with them. I'm sure as more people adopt it, things will get better. I don't know where their revenue comes from for software development. I don't know where they're getting their market share insights from. I mean, I don't have, access to any of those things. So I'm just going to ask you guys to be patient with it. But the utility of it is priceless.
Yeah, like Bitcoin said, and I like how he put the term, earn sats by something you were going to do anyway.
Right.
So if you're going to walk anyway, earn some sats. And that's what we try to do, earn some sats, get out here and walk. And sometimes it revs you up, like, oh, I'm going to go further and further. We're going to do more and more. And it motivates you. It's like, it's a motivator. Like, you know what? I'm going to walk one more mile. And, right?
So the Colonel has 500 sats. He said it's putting his activities into reserve status. I haven't seen that on mine. Does it explain to you what reserve status is? I'm going to look into it this evening. I haven't had that issue. We're almost there, babe. We're almost at 20 people.
And
But like I said, they're giving away free money. We just have to, that's 500 sats you didn't have to pay into. Once, Bitcoin hits that parity with the US dollars, you're going to look back and be like, 500, 1,000, however many sats you earn to that point, literally for free, just kind of I was going to walk anyway. I was going to go on my hike anyway.
Yeah.
Mindy Rashbaum, thank you so much for
Hey.
joining.
Hello.
It says, hello, guys. I've been following the Gentleman of Crypto for 3 years. I'm new to you all, but thank you for your efforts. Having trouble buying the dip today with Swan is driving you crazy. Are
Yeah,
you having trouble with Swan?
you're trying to have yeah, I don't know what you mean. You're trying to buy the active dip or,
Tell us a little bit more,
yeah.
Mindy,
Mhm.
because you may have to, if you're having like technical trouble, if you contact them, Reed Womack will be messaging you shortly. He's very responsive,
Yeah, read.
and I think he works on the weekends. I think Reed worked 24. I think Reed is a bot. No, he's a real person, but he's uber responsive. I feel like he works 7 days a week. So if you're having technical trouble, just kind of clarify in the chat what type of trouble you're having. If it's metaphorical trouble because it's dipping, that I get that too. Or you want to be more excited about the uptick more so than the dip. But consider the dip a discount,
Yeah, and you
right?
got to also remember, I didn't look at it today, but I don't know the volume of the trading. So sometimes you will have trouble when there's high volume
And
trading,
trading.
getting your trades executed, especially from Swan, because you know you're dealing with high level traders who have these and powerful
Yeah. She
boxes of
said it's
technical.
causing a crash. I'm sorry. It seems the crash caused a log jam. So it's
Yeah.
some technical issues. I would still reach out to their technical support,
Mhm.
just to kind of like report it or whatever,
Yeah.
see what they say, and then take it from there.
Yeah.
Let them advise you on next
The
steps.
way that you explain it sounds like it's a volume
An
issue
issue
and people can't get trades executed
in
as
a timely manner.
and as the price moves. If
Hmm.
you put in for to buy at this price and then it moves a little bit, your trade won't get executed and gets kicked back. When it's not high volume trading, you get your trade executed easier.
The Colonel said, free is always nice. I just wanted to know if I was the only one. The chess games just flicker and flash in and out. It's all good. I have a lot of issues with it too, Colonel. We may not be having the same issues, but I'm also quite aware that they are giving away something of value for free. It's gonna come with annoying issues. We got 21 people in the room. I think that is motivation enough for us to get right to it.
Yes. So um, I don't know how often people on here and they check the markets. So yesterday we had a lot of running around to do, and Carlos, like,
Carlos Spicy Weenie. Very interesting handle. Bienvenidos, Carlos. Carlos said he's new here. We're glad for you to join the show. Nobility Black. That's a name we're not familiar with. We want to thank you guys so much for joining. It says, peace. What's your status, nationality when living in Mexico? We black every day of the week. Don't matter where we at.
yeah. When you say status, I don't know what you
What do you
say
mean by
status.
status, though? Well,
Status.
American. We're Americans living in Mexico.
Yeah.
Extraños,
Extraños.
foreigners.
Me, I would be a foundational Black American.
He said, I'm so sorry. You're fine. Your handle's fine, Carlos. Don't you worry at all. I just found it interesting. Carlos Spicy Weenie. Colonel, I missed 62,000. You think it may dip into the high 50s? Well, Simon's going to go over why we're seeing some of the issues that we're seeing today. He's going to do some correlations, and he's really going to get your mindset shifted to see the reality of what's happening.
Yeah, let's talk about what's happening here now. Yesterday, something interesting happened at the close of business at stock market and on the COMEX, CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And I have some charts, and I usually don't do charts and stuff like that, but I think it today was necessary. So we're going to talk about gold, silver, and Bitcoin and the US dollar. And we're going to look at these four charts and we're going to see the correlation that they have and what is going on, with the big boys at top and how they can move things around. All right. So I would like to share my screen. And
Meaning, I'm going to share the screen.
okay,
He's a
I'd
bot.
like this one here. Is it still up?
So it's going to be
the
the gold
gold
price.
the gold price chart. So we're going to go to the gold price chart and the silver price chart, and we're going to let's take a look at them.
All right, babe.
They're going to be line charts. We're not going to get all technical bar charts and things like that. We're just going to go strictly with a line chart.
Okay, hold on a second, because I want to make sure. If any of the content cousins can let me know that you can see the charts, I would just kind of write in the chat so that I know.
You can see that?
I'll be able to see it over here.
Oh, wow.
But go ahead and start talking.
Well, the chart. So yesterday, if you guys are following the charts, silver was at 29 at the all-time, not the all-time high, at the daily high,
Which is $29.04.
42.
42 cents?
Yeah,
Okay.
72. All
72
right,
cents.
so right there, and then you see a sharp drop off all the way, and it closed at the daily low 27.94.
But just look at the way, obviously it's red, and then you can see the drop off. It looks like a mountain, and then it just fell off the cliff.
Okay, so the chart right next to it.
Isn't it the same exact chart? Oh,
Oh,
it's
no.
supposed to be gold though, right?
Yeah, I just gotta change it.
There we
Chart,
go.
chart right next to it. Looks
Almost
oddly
identical.
slim. So
Except it bounced up right there.
yeah, so gold went all the way up to 24.27 and got hammered all the way back down to 23.36. And this is at the end of the day of business, what Andy Scheckman would call a thinly traded market. And in a thinly traded market, you can push the price down at the end of the day, end of business, on Friday. And so pull that chart back up for me, please.
The silver chart?
Yeah, just because I wanted to add a couple things on it. So now you guys, if you can see these charts, you see how similar they look. And you're like, wow, that's incredible.
Somebody give me a
So
thumbs up in the chat that you can see the charts. We've been having trouble with our share screens. I just wanna
somebody
make
said
sure.
I do, but
Okay, he did see it. That was
so
Carlos.
I'm gonna just use some numbers here. So silver is going to have to fight hard resistance at $30. So we're looking here. It got pretty close, 29.72, and pushed all the way back down to 27.94. Gold as well is going to have a hard fight of resistance at $2,500. So you see that gold got the high of the day at 24.27, reaching towards 2,500. Hard rejection all the way down to 23.20.
23.36.
So what does that mean? What does that even mean? Like, okay, they got hard rejections. So let's go to the next chart. The US dollar against the Mexican peso, because I have to use it against a certain currency. So the inverse chart is it's just going long. It gets a sharp
Upturn,
upturn.
where the other ones had the sharp downturn.
So typically investors understand strong dollar means lower gold and lower silver prices. So the dollar is strengthening and the silver and gold is being pushed down. And you see the correlation. Look at the sharp upturn, and those had sharp downturns. And so we got to understand what we're investing in here and understand as people, we have to use the dollar in our daily transactions. So, I mean, if the dollar is weak, then your investments, like Crypto Rick said, your savings in precious metals and your investment in Bitcoin is strong. But when the dollar is strong, you start to lose some value. And let's go to this last chart that we could talk about real quick. So look at Bitcoin. It's going on, boom.
Fell off a cliff.
Fell off a cliff, just like gold, silver. And so these are the things you have to keep in mind, that this is what we call inverse correlations, right? Dollar up, our investments and savings down, our investments and savings up, the dollar is down. So you have to be very mindful of where and how you put your money, and because you need the, for example, what would be a good example? Well, see, we live here, so we need a strong dollar against the peso so that the prices aren't so expensive, right? Because it takes away from actually your salary and your profits that you make once you have to exchange your dollar for a stronger peso.
Currency.
Yeah, and it takes away from what you actually make. And if you have And that's arbitrage. You were looking for your dollar to be stronger against a currency and not weaker. And so that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a weaker dollar, but now you've seen that uptick, sharp uptick. You can go back to the whole, I didn't even go back to the whole month or 3 or 6 month chart, and it's just kind of a little bit up, a little bit down, kind of, and you just see a sharp uptick. For what reason on a Friday afternoon? For what reason? For what reason do you think you have sharp uptick in the US dollar against currencies and a sharp downturn on which is real money, gold, silver, and Bitcoin?
The
What was
class
that
one
about?
commodities. Well,
Well,
one, they want to prop up this dollar to be damned. Y'all ever saw Weekend at Bernie's? I know I'm showing my age, but the U.S. dollar is Bernie, and your monetary policy people are the two guys. I can't remember their names. That was just walking around with him all weekend long. What's wrong, baby?
oh, I was reading the thing. What's up, cousin Rue? What's up? I can't see.
I do
Cousin
want to
Rue.
read some funny stuff
I
because
can't read cousin Rue.
they
man.
were.
Not that I can't read. I can't see.
He can't see.
I need some
He need glasses and he's vain as hell.
Oh, we're going. Oh,
Carlos
come on.
Spicy Winnie said, "I'm actually blacker than both of y'all."
Are you?
Bienvenidos anyway.
Where you from? Where you from? Donde?
No. Well, de donde son, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobility black, inquiring if other countries follow the labels of white and black. Yes, they do here in Mexico. Even the Mexicans have a classification of moreno when Mexicans are really, really, really dark, and this is their own people. And güera if they're like white and uppity and kind of like, I'm showing my age again, like what we would call a valley girl, but they call them güeras here in Mexico.
Yeah, it's just. I mean.
So yes, in Mexico, I am a negrita.
It's and keep it
I don't
simple.
even get to be a morena.
Just keep and keeping it simple. You know, it's colorism. You know,
Yes,
since
that's
because
colorism.
you know it's not like the United States where you have different races, so you can call it racism if you will. Everybody here is
Mexican.
homogeneous,
Right.
so it's just colorism. You got the place down south,
Oaxaca?
southwest Oaxaca. That's where the Afro Mexicanos. That's where they live.
And they're isolated there.
They're isolated,
It's
but
nuts.
which is not a bad idea because at least they stay amongst each other and get
Yeah.
things done.
Yeah.
Because once you get out here,
They're gonna mistreat the hell
they're
out
gonna
of you.
mistreat you. So it's good to stay amongst your people in that regard.
But they don't mistreat us
Nah.
because we have status as
Yeah.
Americans and status because we have capital.
Yeah, we got capital. I mean, what is she? You a Morena?
I'm a negrita.
Negrita?
They try to be nice and say morena, but
Yeah.
I can. They just sometimes they assume that you don't know what they're saying, and you can hear them refer to.
Yeah,
me
and
as
I'm
a
just
negrita.
a Mandingo, so
Oh my
Yeah,
lord!
so-
Pause.
yeah. So that's that's like you gotta deal with it.
The colonel wants to know if you think silver is going to be $50 at the end of 2024. I think that's a leap.
No way.
That's wishful thinking.
No, we would like to, but but that's a good question. So, Colonel, here's the thing. We spoke about this last night. So, silver has heavy resistance at $30.
Yes.
I can't remember the exact number, 30 and some change, but it's heavy resistance right there. And then if it breaks that resistance and it flips it to support, now it's got a lot of room to run between 30 and 50. But it's gonna have the most resistance ever at its all-time high. So it could maybe touch 50, but the fight would be to break the all-time high.
Which was what? Do you remember?
50 and some change. And you know, so if it breaks 30, a lot of room to run up to 50. 50 will be the all-time fight. And I don't know, you know, because the powers that be, I don't know if they're gonna let it break 50.
And not by 2020, not by December.
Yeah, not, but I don't think. But if it did do that, the dollar is in trouble. Like the dollar's in a deep
Big
dive.
trouble.
Is in a deep dive, and so you know that's the inverse correlation. You know, the things that you invest in go up, but the things that you have to use every day to buy, and all that means is for you guys in America, it just means inflation. Prices are higher and higher and higher and higher. Stuff that you go buy, you're like, man, it just cost this the other day. For us, it means that the dollar loses strength against the peso, and so that things become more expensive for us because the peso's strong, and it's strong. It's not saying stronger than the dollar, but if you look at the charts, you know, there's a chart. It tells you, whatever, one to right now it's 1 to
16.
1674 or something like that.
1664.
1664.
But I mean, it was once upon a time, it was 1 to 25.
Yeah, so when it was
So
1
our
to 25,
80% discount is like
yeah, we like
40%. Still a huge discount, but
when it was
we ain't
1
happy with it.
and conversely, when it was 1 to 25, I mean, I could pull it up and make it proper, but Bitcoin's price was way down.
Lower.
Yeah. So.
Cousin Rue, hello. How was your eclipse experience?
Oh,
I had to
boy.
check my email to see if you wrote me back.
I still got a headache from looking at it.
We weren't in the route of totality, Cousin Rue. So it got darker and oddly cool, right? You couldn't feel any heat from the sun, but we didn't get all the darkness and all the cool stuff everybody else got. Mo, thank you so much for joining us. Can I call you Cousin Mo? Because that would probably be the easiest. Let me know if that's okay. Carlos is from Oakland. He said, don't judge me. Cousin Ruth said, Weekend at Bernie's is hilarious, but that is seriously what they're doing with the dollar. SOS bueno. Que bueno, que bueno. Thank you for the knowledge as it confirms my research. So Nobility Black said, thank you so much. And then Cousin Rue laughed at the Mandingo pause comment. The Colonel said, remember, folks, stack your coins pre-64 dimes, quarter silver. You mean to say pre-64 dimes, quarters, and nickels, right? Because the silver equals something different.
Yeah.
He said, don't forget the Mandingo with Thor arms.
Amen.
Okay, Cousin Mo, thank you so much for giving me permission to call you Cousin Mo. It's just easier than Mo.
Yeah, you gotta. The Colonel brings up. Are you crazy? The Colonel brings up a good point about constitutional silver. It's very, very valuable. It's great. It has great divisibility.
Yes.
And so you go on ATMEX, and you get that bag. We got a bag. What's the bag called? What's that called? Burlap. You get a burlap bag with full of constitutional silver, and it's good. I mean, it's good just in case you need to sell it. So let me run this back. So you're gonna have your silver in your silver journey, and you might start buying some coins that you really like, or some bars that you really like. Things you can buy. Like I bought the kids like a Captain America silver round.
Yeah, we got Marvel
stuff like that. I have a silver.
We got Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I got a silver coin from, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and it's a coin from when they went to Super Bowl. It's the official coin they used to flip. All I'm saying is you have certain silver that you probably would never sell. So you have to buy some silver that you're willing to sell, right?
If need be.
It need be, or if you just want to take profits. Right. If you got a whole bunch of constitutional silver and you got a lot of profits, sell your constitutional silver and you can run your fiat into something else. You don't have to sell the things that you like. Like, man, I don't want to sell this coin
or your coins of significant value. Yeah. So like your emergency first strikes, your Ardment, the stuff that your numismatics, your MS-70s. So like any portfolio, silver itself has its own portfolio. Exactly. And we can talk about that in another show because I don't want to digress from the conversation today. But we'll definitely do a show on that so that you guys can just see another avenue where, Crypto Rick said it best. He said, save in precious metals. Yeah. Right? You want to save your money like people used to save money. Let the precious metals be like your high interest savings account. Invest in Bitcoin. Invest in the coins that you love. Your XRPs, your Ethereum, your Solana, your Matic, and all of these other coins, right? And then utilize fiat for your everyday practical utilities. They can't see this, just so you know.
No, I'm just reading some numbers off to you guys. Because
do you want me to share it so they can see the numbers you're reading off?
No, I'm just going to read a couple numbers off if you guys want to see it. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm backing up what you're saying. You said save in precious metals. So you look at it over 6 months, silver has 25. Okay.
Let's share it so you guys can see the numbers for yourself.
I'm at Rizzer mouth today.
You got juicy mouth. Pause.
What's wrong? Is it delayed?
Maybe. Okay, guys. So this is where he is right now. And you're looking here in the percentage column.
Yeah, so if we'll just take 6 months. 6 months you have 25.39% return on silver. So if you treated that like your savings account, Brit savings account in the United States will give you 25% return on the money that you have in there.
Now, I want to give you
None.
guys a little bit of context. So, Fidelity has my 401k. And at the end of the year, so we're talking a 12-month period, I only got, and it was good, but I only got 21% return.
Yep.
So had I taken the money from my 401k and was putting that, saving that into silver, I would have made 4 more percent,
4 more percent.
4 plus more percent.
Yeah, and if you had gold, your 1 year is
We'll do the 6 months.
6
again.
months. I'm sorry, 22.97%.
Okay.
So you're not. It's not like your 10 bagger, but it's a savings account. If you just put your money in a savings account, you get 0.25%, what they call 25 basis points. That's nothing, and and it's a way you can just save.
But let's look at the 60 month,
60
5
month,
years.
60 month, you get 90.
You would have gotten a 90% return if you'd have saved in silver over the course of 5 years. So that is the lifetime of the average car note. So from payment 1 to payment 60, if you were investing in silver, you would have made a 90%, really almost 91, right?
Which is almost a double. We call it a double.
And then in gold, you'd have made 84%
Close.
return.
Close.
So we're just trying to help you guys shift how you think about saving, investing, spending. Right? We're not trying to persuade anybody to do anything.
No.
We're not trying to talk anybody into anything. But just kind of change your attitude on it. I'd mentioned this on the other show, and I want to mention this again. When the days were that the dollar was backed by gold, those people understood. Do you have your wallet on you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have it? Just
What you want me to take out?
give me a bill. Let me bill. This is not a dollar, but give me a green bill so that it resonates with them a little bit better. You have 200 peso bill.
All right.
We're gonna use a green bill because
It's funny money,
Mexico
y'all.
has confetti money.
This funny money.
So let's say this was a $100 bill in the United States. So I don't have access to American money. In those days, when gold was backed by this,
When the dollar was backed by
when the
gold.
dollar was backed by gold, right? Let's just say this is a $100 bill. Let's just say they understood that this was just a promissory note. There is no value in this paper. That generation of people understood that. And the value was in what they take to the bank and trade for it in order to get the gold. When they took gold off the standard, they deliberately wanted to create and conceive generations who did not understand this. And what ended up happening, what ended up resulting, was that the generations forthcoming put their value in this when there's no value in it. And that way they can print it into Bolivian, as Tyson would say, right?
He's going to Bolivia.
Right? So when you're frustrated because you're talking to people, they have their value in this, and that's exactly what they wanted. They don't want you to have value in the thing that actually has value. And that is the precious metals, and that is Bitcoin.
And let me tell you something. The crazy thing is, it's been a while since I checked the number. So I'll tell you the number that I had before. When you go to the U.S. Mint, it costs the same amount of money to make a $1 bill and a $100 bill. There's no value.
There's no value in the bill.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right, and this is some of the financial literacy and the financial education that our community desperately needs. They think there's value in that paper. When that paper was a promissory note and had some value that backed it, it had no value.
And just to be funny or be ironic, if you go to you go to Atmex, you can get a $100 bill.
I think we showed them that.
Yeah, it's silver, and you get one that's gold. Yeah. But the funny thing is, it actually has value in its money, and if you took it somewhere, nobody would even take it.
They wouldn't allow you to use it as legal tender, even though it has more value.
It has more value
than the actual paper bill. So this is why we're talking about, this is what it is, but this is the reality of it. And that is what begins to help shift the mindset, shift the way we think, shift the way we move, shift the way we operate. And when we see things for what they are, you can make better decisions. You can get that up leveling and that outcome that you're looking for. So we wanted to kind of show you, because there are some people who are still a little bit adverse to the precious metals thing. But like we said, if you just said, this is just my savings account, it's just like if I was Big Mama, right? 2 generations ago, a generation ago, however far that is for you, she would have had a checking account, she would have had a savings account.
Yeah.
And she would have put all of the money, because Big Mama always had money. She's putting down payments on homes. Nobody knew how she did it. Right? She would put money in the savings account. She would use her checking account for her utility spending. It's also a way to preserve your time. So a few shows ago, we did a show that said, if you make $100,000
Yeah.
in salary, these are the places you would live, and this is what it would actually amount to. This would be the reality of your $100,000 salary. We said, like in New York, your $100,000 salary would kind of dwindle down to 30. If you lived in El Paso, Texas, your $100,000 salary would be closer to 89,000. That's the closest you can get to 100,000 in the United States, but you still have to figure out a way to make up that $11,000 gap.
And that it came, it came from. I think it got ramped up from these shows talking about dating and stuff like that, and people want $100,000. They want somebody who makes $100,000. At first, I always said, well, isn't it like kind of rude to ask somebody how much money they make? Fine, fine if it's allowed, if that's allowable, but can't get it mixed up. Okay, your salary and your wealth are two different things. You make $100,000, are you worth $100,000? These are two different things.
That's
Because
true.
once you go out there and start doing your accounting and your debt, credit card debt,
Debt to
school debt,
ratio, debt to
right?
income ratio.
And then it says, well, I make $100,000 a year, but I'm only really worth
Negative.
I hope it don't go that bad. I'm only worth 5,000, right? So those are two different things. Like the income and salary you can bring in and command, and what you are worth on the books. So I always keep that in mind. And so for our young people, try to keep your debt down and keep it, in order. You get out there in the game, you start making some good money. Here come all these credit card offers.
Yep.
And I remember that I was like that as a young man, 22, 23. And then all of a sudden you get Discover Card, American Express, you're getting all these cards. You say, oh man, I got 10,000 on this one, 10,000 on this one. And you feel like you can go out and buy whatever you want. But it's just that. And you don't know that as a young man.
And granted, when your credit score is really, really good, right, you do get some incentives and benefits like 0%, same as cash for X number of months, and so on and so forth. But the game is set up to help knock that credit score down so that we can charge you the usury rates that the
29%?
Bible talk about being sinful, right? Things that used to make God angry in the Old Testament with the usury.
And so one of the things about our wealth journey is that we don't have any debt.
I don't
Right.
owe
So
nobody no money.
I had to get all rid of those credit cards. And I said, oh man, I thought I thought I had money, and we going on vacations and stuff like that. I had some rims on my Cadillac. Well, I said, but that's back in the day, y'all. This back in
Way back in the day, ain't no Cadillac here.
that's
These
back in the day,
speed bumps and these potholes here in
But
Mexico.
I thought I was fly, and they gave you all this money that you could spend, but you want to kind of consolidate that, or two, if you're savvy enough, you can invest. You can invest the money they gave you, and even if you have to pay it back on a certain interest rate, right? But you will make a lot more money where you had put your money, and it's a wash. It was a good investment.
But there
right?
were certain exchanges that didn't allow you to use a credit card to
Some will
invest.
not. Some will not.
Right, but that's the game right there, right? They
Because they
won't
know.
allow, because they know, right? You could just be like, I ain't paying this credit card back at all. Let them go on the default, send me the collection notice. I done made a whole bunch of money on the free money you gave me.
Yeah, so-
And they don't allow those things. The game is always set up, unfortunately, against us.
Yeah, they get the game like kind of like it figures out what you're doing, so it like makes alterations, so you can't do that anymore. So I don't know. I never tried that, but I know Binance used to let you do it, but that was back in the day. I don't even know if Binance would let you do with a credit card. But try to stay out of debt. We're not like eh, financial advisors or telling you what to do, but yes, they will if you're coming out of college or you have some kind of skilled trade or something like that, and you make a lot of money, you're gonna start getting these offers, and you're like,
And you
oh,
want to tread that avenue lightly.
man.
So here's another thing I want to tell you guys, because your life portfolio, we talk about wealth all the time, and a lot of people think that the money is just the money, and it's like you don't understand how the money affects all of your life aspects. When you don't have any debt, consider the frequency that you can vibrate on, because you don't have that type of stress. You don't have that type of anxiety. You don't have those thoughts constantly taking up the real estate in your mind. You can focus on other things. You can focus, right? There's a lot more to being debt free than just being debt free,
Like
right?
as a man walking around, I don't like owing somebody money.
Hell no.
Like I pay you what I owe you. If we're in a deal, I pay you what I owe you, right? But I don't like owing some people money.
Right.
I do not like doing that. It's like a feeling. I don't want to say anxiety, but it's like nah, man. I don't want to owe somebody money.
But little things.
Yeah,
I can answer my phone anytime it rings.
yeah. It's like
Right?
what you want?
Little teeny tiny things. There's your credit. As a matter of fact, they're like, please, please, please apply for this credit card. Matter of fact, we just want to send it to you and hope that you use it. Like you get to that point. But
I'll
when
tell you a little story too about not liking owing people money. I went to the store, the Mini Super. It's a little store, a little bodega down the street, and I got some things for the house. Grabbed a bottle of tequila for Aaron, and then
don't listen to that, y'all. That's a lie from hell.
and when I got to the register, I realized I didn't even bring my wallet. And so he was like, "Man, don't worry about it. Just bring it back
We
to me."
shop there all the time.
He said, "Just bring it back." And I said, "Nah, let me go home." He said, "No, no." He bagged it up, and gave it to me. And I sped home, and I got my wallet, and I sped back because even though it might have only been $20, I didn't like knowing I owed him $20, right? And so I took it back. I don't like to owe nobody money, man. I don't want to borrow money. I don't want to owe nobody money. I don't like none of that. And I mean, it might be just a me thing, but I can't really deal with it
But
like
as
that.
far as your quality of life, let's say your quality of life had points. When you are able to discharge all of the debt, the majority of the debt, whatever you can do, and you don't have those things looming over you, lingering, hanging over your head, you are significantly increasing those quality of life points. And this is why we talk about all of the different things. Somebody on the show said we're real eclectic. But we talk about all
Again?
these different things. No, this was
Oh,
another
I
day
said,
when he
man,
said
we're
it.
still eclectic.
But this is our shows are a bit different, and they're different by design.
Yeah.
Because we are in the space, we're listening to content creators, we're listening to the OGs, we're listening to the newbies who don't know what the hell they talking about. We're listening to the what I call imposters,
Yeah.
right? We're listening to them, and
Yeah, shake them
you
out.
begin to understand that wealth is a very comprehensive journey.
It is.
It is not just your wallet. It is not just your checking account. It is not just your crypto wallet. The other thing that we take pride in the show is when we watch other content creators are just, they're presenting information to you. We take pride when we do our lives, we are talking directly to you.
Yep.
When you have questions, when you make comments, we are acknowledging the people who support us, what they think, how they feel, what they need to know, what they want to share with us.
Yep.
And it's one of the things that we take pride in on our show, which is very different from, other shows on the network. We want you to know that if it's something that has something to do with you, it concerns us.
Yeah.
And we're happy to engage and to interact with you on that level. If there's something that your cousins can help you with, we done been around the block, we've been around the world, we've lived in multiple places in the world.
Yeah.
Even though we look young,
We do.
we have whole adults here in the house.
We do.
We have an experience of a very skilled resume, and we want to share how we've executed a lot of the outcomes. They weren't happenstance, they weren't luck, they weren't chance. These are the methodical things that, and the failures too, because the failures are incredibly important because they help get us to success.
Yeah, you have to take your failures, even though they hurt. We know that they hurt. You have to take those as lessons and say, okay, I failed at this. Let me see what I can learn from this, and then move forward. And those are the tough ones, the tough lessons. But if you have the grit to understand why you failed and learn from it and take it forward into something new, a new iteration of it, that's great. You know, people will tell you, some of the greatest CEOs will tell you they failed at trying to start this business and this business and this business, you know. And so sometimes it takes a while until you get in your groove and you find this is what is for you. You know, some people will have failure and they just quit, and you know that's a bad thing. But you got to fight with the failure. Failure will be there. Failure will come. It may come in what you're doing now. You know, and I'm not putting nothing bad on you. I'm just saying this is life, and you know, you just
But if you don't see
yeah.
failure in terms of a bad thing, like we don't see failure like that, so it doesn't bother us. We see it as a great science experiment, and then we go and we analyze, the control variables, what happened, when did it happen? We do a root cause analysis, and I know we
Yeah.
sound like a bunch of nerds and geeks, but it helps us get the outcomes that we desire,
And
and that's what the name of the game is.
I'm gonna give a sports analysis. They say, I'm using boxing for my boxing fans out there. It's not how many times you got knocked down, it's how many times did you get up, right? You knocked down 9 times.
Right.
How many times did you get up?
Right.
You get up, you dust yourself off, you get up, and you go at it again until you can't, until you don't have anything left, till you don't have any breath in your body. You get up and you fight all the time. Okay. So we got a lot of people in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat.
Okay.
Don't worry
Whatever
about
is
that.
going on over there, please stop.
Go upstairs. Go upstairs.
So T Will on Man for Hire said, checking account right side of the bra, savings account left side. That was Big Mama. That's funny. Nobility Black, that's actual facts. He has some goldbacks and can only use them in the state that they're from. Yes, so just taking you guys on a quick historical background. Before the United States became this one federal nation, different nations had their own authority.
Well, different states.
Different
Yeah,
states, that's what I
yeah.
meant to say. Different states had their own authority. So, Kansas had their different form of currency.
Yeah.
Texas had their different form of currency. And I remember with the bounty hunters, if the bounty hunter had to travel across state lines to get his bounty,
Yeah.
they used to pay him in gold because he was going across state lines. He didn't want to be paid in whatever currency here because I'm not staying here. I got a new bounty to go catch in New York, or I got a new bounty to go catch in Oklahoma.
And you might have caught that in Django. You might have caught that. He was getting paid in gold, if you noticed that sometimes.
I don't think I remember that, but
Yeah,
that's
because
a
he
good
had a
point.
little thing. He had a little satchel.
Had a little satchel.
Yeah, so
Hey,
she's
Dad,
right.
on the mag. So thank you so much for bringing that up. T. Willine, don't the Bible say money answers everything? I'm not familiar with that verse.
That don't sound like
It doesn't
biblical
say-
verse.
yeah.
Can we get the official verse?
But if we wanted to put it in a metaphysical perspective, and I've explained this before, right? Money, like sound money, right? Gold, silver, is the physical representation of wisdom. Wisdom being the ability to apply the knowledge and the information and the understanding that you have, right? So, for instance, your sewage is building up in your basement. You would pay a plumber to utilize his wisdom in plumbing in order to resolve that situation, right? You don't know how to put internet together, so you pay the utility company to provide you with the service of internet, phone, gas, all of these different things. So money is absolutely the physical representation of wisdom because you are paying for wisdom you don't have. You don't have the knowledge, the understanding, or the information to apply this thing to benefit you. So you have to outsource it to somebody else. And the exchange of that is money. So, in a sense, yes, money does answer everything because it is tangible wisdom, right? This is why you are considered a professional if you are paid for your services. That's where all of that comes from. Um, and right now, the people who have the ability to apply this information, to apply the knowledge, to apply the understanding of what they have, they typically have the most capital. It is the ignorant ones who suffer the most. And that's what we see in our communities. That's what we see in generational curses with money, right? People are typically reacting to their environment. They don't know how to budget, they can't forecast, they don't critically think about how the money should be put together in order to last for the month, in order to forecast emergencies, and so on and so forth. And a great example of that is Good Times. They had absolutely no idea what they were doing when it came to money.
Yeah, getting the rent every month was a
Every single month, getting the rent was like climbing Mount Everest. Every
God.
single month. And it wasn't that they weren't intelligent. It wasn't that they, JJ was very,
He was an artist.
he was an artist. He was very
Artiste.
talented. Michael was extremely articulate. He
He-
knew a lot of things. He was
Black-
educated.
Black power.
Thelma was also very educated. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
She just didn't know how to use her pretty privilege in a productive way.
And
Florida didn't have no idea what she was doing. Let's just be honest.
she cooked a meal.
Right, she didn't know what she was doing. I felt like what was her friend's name? The pretty one.
Winona, but yeah, she.
Winona was a lot more savvy because she was by herself. She had to be.
But
She
they
didn't have
hit,
Jack.
they
She had
tried
no
to,
kids.
they hit her with the single woman movement back then when we wasn't even really.
Doing that.
Yeah, but they were just rolling it in on us right back in the 70s. I want to circle back on something that she said.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I say something wrong?
Yeah. So, she was talking about learning from people, educational, and these things. These people that you might come across on your timelines who say they're going to charge you
Oh, Lord.
so that you can learn how to trade, so you can learn more about Bitcoin. Please don't pay these people anything. It is so much free information out here about this community, Bitcoin, if you like other crypto coins, if you like gold and silver, if you like anything. Please do not pay these people. Please do not pay these people. They say, oh, you come over here and pay $39.99 a month, and I'll teach you how to options trade. And it's like, please don't get involved in that, you guys, because it's free information. You could take Michael Saylor, CEO of Michael Strategies, who took his Treasury Reserve asset from cash, turned into Bitcoin, and then you go on the internet and you see him giving free information all the time. This man is a rocket scientist for real. He graduated from MIT with, I think, a aeronautical scientist degree, which is in turn a rocket scientist. This man is a rocket scientist sitting down on YouTube giving free information all day, every day. So do not pay any of these people. Please do not pay any of these people because they don't know enough. And that's one of the things that bothers me is that it's these people who come into space and they don't know anything. And they're trying to charge you just regurgitating other people's information. So don't pay anybody. You got Michael Saylors, you got Raoul Pals, you got Lynn Aldens, you got these people who give you free information that can help you. Do not pay these people. Please do not pay anyone. Okay? Like I said, we give you free information. We're not charging, we're not asking for no, hey, come on our Patreon, we got some extra information. No, the information we got, we're gonna give it to you right here. All the information that I have, I'm giving it to you. Don't pay people. Please do not pay people. But I'm sorry. That's just
Now
my
I'm
rant.
gonna
I'm sorry.
say I got that right, but I'm gonna devil's advocate, right?
Ah, boy.
I think, and I'm not talking about the scammers. I'm not talking about them. It's a way for them to utilize the subscription membership as a gatekeeper because we don't have people pay us for our wisdom. A lot of our time gets wasted. A lot of our time gets wasted. And that drives me crazy because that is our most precious commodity.
Wasted
It is
in what
because
regard?
people will waste our time. I want to talk to you about this and that and the
Oh, yeah,
third.
yeah.
They don't show up. They ghost you. Can we reschedule? Little stuff like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So for the legit ones who are charging, I can understand that they're utilizing their subscription membership fee as a gatekeeper to not have their time wasted as I sit down one-on-one with you
Yeah, I don't like
in
it.
order to teach you or talk to you or whatever. I get it. I don't like it either, right?
You got to ask the
Because,
chat room because I don't like that.
right, no, I get it. I
I
get
don't
it.
like it.
I'm just devil's advocate. I do believe that it is a gatekeeper. I know.
And the reason I say that is because people come down on us and they don't even know nothing. They talking to us like, "Hey, I can teach you Bitcoin," and
Well, then
and then you
forget it.
start asking them some technical questions, start getting into it,
Not
and
even
now they
technical.
hemming and hawing, and they don't really know what they're talking about.
Right.
So,
Because
but
they are.
you trying to get me to pay you to teach me something, and you don't even know what you're talking about when I ask you
Some
questions.
people are trying to run a game. They're
Yeah.
desperate, they're mercenaries,
Yes.
and they're hoping that they're smarter than you.
Out, man. Leave me
Just smart
alone.
enough then because the next person they'll get.
Well, get
The
them,
next
man.
person will
I'll get
come. A
them,
lot
man.
of you have shared with us how you've gotten burnt in your crypto journey with people who you thought knew what they were doing, who you thought had the proof in the pudding and did not. Cousin T. Willine gave me Ecclesiastes 10:19, and it does say that. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answers all things. That's
Wine makes
amazing.
it
Y'all
merry.
like my pretty pink Bible? Thank
Wine
you so
makes it
much.
merry. That's what they
Wine makes
say.
it
That's
merry.
what they say. Wine makes
I
it
don't know.
merry.
God had a thing about wine. He was okay with the
Yeah,
wine.
yeah. He hitting you with he get what's it? Turn them bottles into a wine.
Nobility Black said, is their agency similar to the IRS in Mexico? I'm sure, but because I'm an American citizen, they don't have jurisdiction over us. I still answer, unfortunately, to all things United States, including the IRS. I still file my taxes. Now,
We do pay taxes in Mexico, so don't say we pay the IVA,
but that's different. We can talk about that. I don't care
but
about
we
that.
do pay our Mexican taxes.
And it's just like sales tax is what it is. But United States is one of the countries that even if you live somewhere else, they still tax their citizens.
Okay, so there's two.
However, I was gonna tell them.
Well, I
Go
mean,
ahead, baby. You
what's
go.
the second country?
I don't know. Second one.
Well, that's what I'm about to tell.
Okay.
There's two countries in the world that will tax you no matter where you live: United States and Eritrea. So
Eritrea?
that's two countries that will tax you no matter where you live. You know, if you were like from Spain and you moved to Mexico, after a while, you don't have to pay Spaniard taxes. You just pay where you live.
Right.
But United States
It's
is
very
going.
different.
They're going to make you pay their taxes no matter where you live, unless you get your residency or something like that, or a
In
new
order to
passport.
kind of skirt you. However, there is a caveat here in Mexico, Nobility Black. And Nobility Black, if you want to have an offline conversation about living in Mexico, planting flags here, because you're newer to the show, all you have to do is email me in the Dropbox. Simon and I will do a FaceTime and we'll talk about, planting your flag here, good things you can do, things to avoid, and stuff like that. No problem. But you have a caveat here where you don't have to pay taxes up to $126,000 of your salary, as long as you have those forms, that status kind of sitting with the IRS.
Yeah.
So you do have that caveat. If you make out more than that,
Then,
that's when you run into some issues. You owe some people some money. We don't owe anybody any money, but we do have to pay the IRS. And the name of the game for Simon Family Investment Ventures is to pay as little as possible, because you brought that all the way down as much as you possibly can. So that's the name of that game, Nobility Black. But just let us know if you want to have an offline conversation. We are happy to meet with any of the cousins. If you said, I want to talk to you guys about the things I want to talk about and not necessarily chat in the show, or have a conversation fit for general consumption, just email us and we'll set up a Zoom, or we can do the restream here that is private, and we are happy to answer any and all of your questions. The Colonel said we are the mom and pop store of content. Thank you.
Dang. Is that the
Um,
corner store where you go get your liquor, or are you talking about
I don't know.
what kind of mom and pop?
Um, Carlos, you said you're multitasking, but I don't know what you mean when you said my bad and multitasking. Cousin Rue, people think that the more you pay for something, the better it is, so people sleep on free services. Yes, I agree with that. So I'm going to tell you something about that too. Right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But if you cast your pearls before swine, and that's typically what happens, is you're giving away your pearls. And the swine do not have value for those pearls, those gems, that fire you're spitting. It feels like a waste. But always keep in mind that you want to see it as, I may be depositing a seed in soil that's just going to take a little bit longer to bud.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we're always trying to change our perspective. When I say that our time is often wasted, it is. But I try to be a little bit more optimistic in the idea that we're just planting seed in not so fertile soil,
Yeah.
right? It's gonna bud, it may have thorns and weeds come up with it, but something is going to bud at some point, and the person may come back to it at a later time. I can't think of how many times I may not have saw value in something before, but as time went on, I was like, oh, you know what? Such and such put me onto that 6 months ago. And I didn't really know what it was. I just kind of put it on the back burner, but now I need the information. Right? So yes, I do understand that some people feel like if it's free, it ain't worth nothing. I need to pay for it in order to have the the quality experience or the quality education and so on and so forth. But in this game,
Yeah.
in this ecosystem,
Please.
you gotta do the work. And the OGs, the triple OGs, they are giving the information away for free.
free.
The only thing you have to pay is attention.
And if you go back, and I don't know if you guys know, I mean, we speak to Bitcoin Zay, from time to time, and he told us, I wasn't even, I didn't even know this. He said it's the longest cryptocurrency show on YouTube, Gentlemen of Crypto.
Yes, he told us that.
And I
I
said,
believe him.
well, and so what you're saying there is he's giving away free information with King Bless for over 1,200 shows.
And who has 1,200 podcast shows?
And he's giving it away free. I mean, it might be some, but he's giving it away free. They show up and they wake up every day. They wake up and show up every day, I should say, and give you information.
Up to the date, time
Yeah.
sensitive, on time, right time. And that's just one of the many content cousins. Cousin Rue does a hell of a job with the information he gives you, and he even gives you more breadth and depth in going into the metaphysics of it and doing the spirituality. So you definitely, absolutely want to support Cousin Ruel's Black show, Black Rue. Trek with 2Ks gives you incredible technical information.
Yeah, that's the homie.
He's Aquarius, so sometimes it goes off the rail. He gonna go deep down in that rabbit hole. Y'all better have y'all shoes on, because you're gonna jump down that rabbit hole with Cousin Trek with 2Ks. But Stacks, everybody in this
Stacks,
space,
shout out to Stacks.
authentic, who's giving you the real deal Holyfield of information, you're giving it away for free. Lynn Alden gives her information away for free.
At a very high level.
You talked about Michael Saylor does lecture after lecture after lecture. All you got to do is find a YouTube link. You're watching it for free. It's not on a Patreon account. No one's hiding it from you. Max and Stacy have their show got taken down because it was through routers, and we had the conflict with the Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. But when they had the Max Kaiser report, that was a 2-hour show where
25 minutes.
25 minute show, I'm sorry.
Yep.
25-minute show where they gave you incredible information. Stacy used to put these really great themes together. It was very, you can tell a whole bunch of thought went into each and every single show.
Yeah, and also because the way they had their show formatted, first like 12 and a half minutes was information that Stacy was giving.
And then the interview.
And that's how I came across Bitcoin Zay, because he was on the Kaiser Report, and he was talking about Black, his book. And I said, what, who is this brother? And so when I started searching for him, I found the Gentleman of Crypto. So I found them on the Kaiser Report. And so, he always had good interviews and people you go look up, like, let me go check this person out, see what they're talking about. And they're giving away information for free. It wasn't nothing, then I found the gentleman, and then I reached out to them, and, and so on and so on. But
The
free
other thing
information,
is,
please free.
if you
Go for free.
listen actively to people talk, the proof is always in the pudding. Somebody is always going to talk so much that the truth will come tumbling out of their mouth some which way, shape, or form. So you can't be fooled for long. Okay? If you have people telling you, somebody was trying to tell us they're going to teach us how to trade and we can turn, I want to say it was like $160 into $3,000 in trading and all of this other stuff. But you're talking to me from your struggle apartment. So if you're able to do that, why haven't you done it yet? And why am I paying you to do it? Right? If you have people who are trying to teach you how to trade and they're utilizing a demo account, you have to look at that.
Yeah, and oh man.
Like, no, I'm serious about this, right? Because I know trading is a big thing. You got all of the MLMers coming into your wanting to share this with you and share that with you. And I'm just using that as an example because that seems to be the game right now. But even those who are in crypto, you guys are well versed enough to know that the minute that person opens their mouth, you let them talk long enough, you understand that they don't know a damn thing about Bitcoin or anybody's crypto.
Yeah, you start asking just little questions that you already know, and it's like, well, and then they don't know. Yeah,
Or the information's inconsistent because they're just giving you answers.
Somebody was talking to us online, and we're talking about Bitcoin and the halving.
Leave struggle apartments alone.
And I'm just like, I asked about the halving, and I asked, well, what's once you see the halving, what are going to be the blocks per 10 minutes? And they don't know.
Right.
So how can you talk about the halving and you don't know what is going to be cut in half to, and how many will be per 10 minutes and per day? They don't know.
But they want you to pay them. So T. Willon, I got you, right? I don't have a problem with the struggle apartment, but you can't tell me to pay you to teach me how to make $3,000 in 24 hours trading this and trading that, and you can't do it. That is the point that I'm making. The proof is in the pudding. If they have the thing where they have the conversation where, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or take $500,000? Some people probably need the dinner with Jay-Z. They probably need it. And then other people like us, you give us the money, we know what to do. I don't need to talk to Jay-Z about what to do with the money.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just different. It's different. And all we're saying is the people who have the experience, the people who have the knowledge, the people who have the wisdom, people who have the information, they are willing to give it away for free. You don't have to pay for it. All you have to do is pay attention.
Pay attention.
And the money you would have used to pay for it, go on and invest it in Bitcoin. Go on and stack you some ounces.
That's what I was going to say.
And if they are who they say they are, they would prefer you did that.
And I'll give you a bit of advice. This is what I do. I don't know how you guys like to do things, but I would find certain people, I guess you would call them content creators, and I would really vet them out really good, V-line, and just have like maybe 2, 3, 4 of them that you listen to. Like, don't get too caught up in this person and this person, because they'll come down your news feed. Yeah. Just finding people who you think are solid, and kind of learn from those people in other ways that you can read books and do other things, research. But if you're listening to the podcast and you're watching podcasts on YouTube, kind of like narrow it down to the people you're going to listen to. You say like they've been in the game a little while, and I can actually take what they're saying seriously, and not get too caught up in everybody who's popping up and saying they know something and they know something. Narrow it down.
But experience is everything. I talked to you guys about how important nation building is to me. I can't sit here and talk to y'all about nation building and I don't have any children. right? It's one of those life experiences where you have to experience it in order to have the understanding, in order to gain the wisdom from it. You don't want somebody talking to you about how to raise a child and they don't have any children. You're giving you parenting advice. You ain't got no kids. You don't even know what this life is like, right? You don't want someone who doesn't know how to properly manage money want you to pay them to teach you how to better manage your money, right? These are the things, these are the problems that we have in the space.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to anybody about, let me think of a token we don't have.
Solana.
We have some Solana. You saw
We
that?
do, but we're not like Solana maxis.
Well, that's true, right?
Like I have it.
But I was just saying, a coin that we don't have exposure to. I ain't about to sit here and tell y'all go on and pay us, $99 a month so we can sit down and chit chat with you about it. Because we don't have it, we don't interact with it, we're not tapping into that energy. It's not right for someone to speak on those things. And one of the things that we really appreciate that you guys share with us, and the word constantly comes up, so I know it means something, is people are constantly saying, Erin, you and your husband are very authentic, right? And that lets me know there's a huge problem in the space, because that word in particular keeps coming up. Right? We know that the energy y'all are putting out is real. The way y'all present yourself is real. The stuff y'all talk about is real. We can tell about all of the little different things that you guys do in order to get the outcomes that you get. We know that like y'all are really doing all of those different things. And then my next question is, well, who are you listening to that at the minute they open their mouth, you were like, this ain't it? Like, those are some of the concerns we have. We got to get those people out of our space.
At least give them, if not give them none of our time.
Don't make them relevant.
Yeah, give them none of our time.
Because there's no reason that the first, description is, we really enjoy your show because you're so real, because you're so authentic. Yeah. And it's just like, that means there's too many inauthentic people in our space and our ecosystem eating up the real estate.
And then, like I said,
wasting people's time.
I see them on the timeline, and I kind of keep it moving, but I pick a few people that I'm going to listen to, who I'm vetted out, and I'm comfortable listening to them and their information, and I don't really expand on it, because the information they're giving us seems to be correct all these years that we're listening to them. So
they were legit.
So it's no reason to move around and look for a new person here, a new person there. You just find the people and you listen, you read, you do your own research. You got to read articles, and I'm talking about deep dive articles. Go, my good shout out to Robert Breedlove. He puts articles on medium.com.
Great articles too, y'all.
And then when you go in there, it'll be like, it's a 51-minute read.
Yep. It's a little mini book.
Yeah, I'm about to read a 51-minute article. But it's good. It's a good article. And you can take notes. And Robert Breedlove, he's, if you check him out, man, he's a Bitcoin OG. He's I believe Robert Breedlove, before he became a Bitcoiner, was an accountant. He's an accountant. He was an accountant. So, he's good with numbers, but he has like a philosophy.
Philosophical.
There we go.
Approach.
Thank you. A philosophical approach. So you check him out too. I always shout out people, man, who I think are solid. Robert Breedlove, he's gonna talk that game.
And then another thing that I wish our community would come away from is transactional relationships.
Oh boy! Shout out to Zoe Williams.
Where we can do stuff for each other without expectation of reciprocity. Right? Y'all know BK Crypto is our content cousin. Okay? If we are telling y'all, we look at it, we vet it. We looked at his website. He's got great outfits, great hoodies, shirts, things that reflect the expression that the people in this space value. Mm-hmm. We can advocate and support him by promoting him without him having to pay us to do it. I understand people, you got your business and stuff like that. I get that, right? We're not taking stuff out of pocket. But the transactional relationship sometimes will ultimately sacrifice what could have been a long-lasting, legitimate relationship. Yeah. And we have to be able to discern between the two. right? Sponsorship is sponsorship. Everybody wants to be sponsored. You think Simon Family Investment Ventures don't want to sponsor? I would love to sponsor a tequila or sponsor,
We got a new
an
one
item
coming.
that we use in the space and stuff like that. But not everything we do has to be transactional. BK Crypto, if I shout your stuff out, you got to pay me 10% of, your no, right? He has an educational group. We want to see the people that he's educating do better financially heal. And we had a great opportunity to meet with him and his education group, and they are doing big things physically in Brooklyn in a virtual world. You understand what I'm saying? They're taking it back to the streets, like the street team. They're sitting down talking to people, and it's really about helping them financially heal by investing and saving properly in order to get their economic time and energy back, because y'all know that the cost of living in New York is nuts. Right? So little things, and that's where experience is, because experiencing is understanding and discerning between this is the point where this is a sponsorship, where you coming in a contract with one another. I'm going to show up, do my end of the contract deal. You're going to do your end of the contract deal. And then other times it's about this is community and we need to support one another. We're not requiring anything in exchange, but you just need to be who you say you are after we vet you. That's the only thing we ask, right? We talk about Big Grizz's show. We shout out Crypto Rick. If any of you said to me, Erin, I got this thing going, if you and your husband could sit down and talk to me, I just want you to kind of support us and help, just bring some light to the chatters, the content cousins about what we're doing. Email us. Tell me what you're doing. We want to know what people are doing. We want to know what projects you're in. We want to know what you're passionate about. KW1, I am waiting for you to, do something great with the knowledge you have about hardware wallets, because that's a huge space that people have a lot of questions about all the time. And it's just so many products to choose from. You done tested them all. It feels feels like you've tested all of them. So, we want to support you in that bit. KW1, aka Critwork, she is our subject matter expert on hardware wallets. She did the work, and she can help give you the guidance you need to choose what's best for you and the outcomes that you're desiring. And this is the type of support as a community. You want to do this? Okay, I'm going to put you in touch with such and such. You have a desire to do that, we're gonna put you in touch with such and such. Y'all are gonna collaborate.
And that's why I said it's called assets and arbitrage. Arbitrage. Excuse my language. Assets and arbitrage.
It's the tequila.
Tequila. Yeah, it's Saturday, y'all. Saturday. Come on.
What does that mean?
Saturday. What am I supposed to be doing? What else am I gonna do? But like, even when she said you have a community of people that you can say, hey, they know this and they know that. She knows about the wallets. We also know about boots on the ground. If you need to hit the ground, you say Mexico City. We're like, oh, I know this person. He knows it, and I know somebody over here, and we got people all around the globe that we know.
To
like,
put you directly in touch with. And that's why I said one of the things that we like to hang our hats on is that we talk directly to you. You're not just an audience of views and clicks. We talk and engage directly to you. So whatever help you need, we'll try to get you directly in touch with that resource, whether it's a person or a place or a network or a thing. We are going to try to do that for you. And that's what the community should be about.
I wanted to answer this question because it's a good question. Does Mexico have an exchange for
An exchange ramp
Bitcoin
to peso.
to peso? So yes, they do. But if you have to do your KYC. So you would have to be a Mexican.
You got to have the
resident.
paperwork, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to have a Mexican passport if you wanted to use their ramps. So that's that. I mean, if you wanted to work that out and get your Mexican residency, then yes, you could have you could have ability to use their networks. I'm trying to get ready. Thanks, guys. You're welcome. Finesse game. I don't know. Do I have a finesse game? Teamwork. Teamwork. Who else? What else we got? I can't see. Yeah, I'm taking the money every time. Laugh out loud. Yeah, yeah, you gotta take the money. I mean, and she brings up a lot of great lines. I just, I went on my rant, and it just bothers me because I see it so much on our timelines of people trying to sell us something, and I say, well, I mean, there's so much free, great information out here. Now, if you're talking about selling something like a one-on-one consultation type of situation, and you want their time in that regard, then okay, I can see maybe, but at least you gotta at least know what you're talking about. If somebody knows what they're talking about and they say, "Yeah, I'll give you free information on a YouTube video, this, that, the third," but if you want to sit down with me and have a 2 hour session personal where we can talk and talk, then maybe I can see people charging for that, right?
Yeah, I
I
would
can
agree with
see
that.
that if you're competent, not these Johnny come latelys. I'm talking about somebody who's competent.
We don't charge y'all.
Yeah, I sit down and talk to you. I don't care, but I mean, yeah, I don't like that people are charging. It's just like,
T. Will Line said, "Give me the money. Don't be taking money from people for stuff you don't know nothing about. You can take money for your skilled time and your competencies." Cousin Ruth said, "Yeah, I'm taking the money every time.
Mhm.
I don't need to talk to Hove. That's hilarious." Um, KW1 said, "Thank you so much."
K Dub.
Ooh, Timadon, teamwork, teamwork. Thank you so much for joining, Timadon.
Yeah, teamwork. Teamwork make the dream work, is what they told us.
But it does.
And so,
Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Let's say we didn't meet.
okay,
But that doesn't mean you wouldn't have picked a good wife.
okay,
Right? I'm just saying, just hypothetically speaking,
yeah, yeah,
if single and separate,
all right,
we wouldn't have accomplished things to the level that we have.
right.
And that's something we need to talk about in the community.
Yeah, I had and I'll probably just go ahead and do it. We wanted to talk about the importance of marriage within this community, and I had it set up, and we'll go ahead and just do it.
But,
Yeah,
I tell you guys all the time, and some of you are new, so you don't know this. This whole thing, this is his vision, right? The show, this is his baby, right? I am his co-host, co-host. He's the host.
especially the moderator.
Okay, moderator. Like the girl on ESPN, don't nobody, they know her name, but they don't. They know Skip and Shannon, and they 50-50 on her name. So like that in a sense.
But they bring in a pretty girl to moderate the arguments.
I'm the technical assistant. As y'all can see, I got to be running to go get this, and production assistant, making sure everything. But this is his baby, right? The meetups, the networking, all of these things are his vision. This is a black man who don't get no credit, so his wife gonna give him the credit whenever she can, right?
Thank you.
And in building that, he spent, and not even on purpose, right? He spent a significant amount of time pouring every ounce of himself into me so that I can be competent. I can have the knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And he's like, "Okay, I have it, but I kind of want to make you the face of the brand. So, but this is his.
Yeah.
This is his vision. And I'm his vineyard. And all he did was plant his vision into my vineyard. And it was my responsibility as his helpmeet, right? I am not the star of the show. It is my responsibility as his helpmeet to blossom and nurture that seed to grow into a big,
Yeah.
sturdy tree."
And we have to talk about it. I mean, because we talked about it earlier, maybe earlier, the macroeconomics, microeconomics, things like that. They're they're very boring, and
They are.
and I'm not trying to make it a male female thing, but it's not something that women are kind of into. As far as when you go to college, where you're trying to pick out a degree,
Art
a
or
degree path,
right.
humanities and stuff like that. Nobody wants to be in finance, and so it's boring. I try to talk to her, and we make it easy. We make it easy. We talk about it, and there's books and videos you go over. I show her the different things, just like we were talking about yesterday about the CME, the mercantile exchange, how they close at 4.
But the
And
point is,
yeah.
though, as your wife, I need to be humble enough to sit at your feet and listen.
Hmm.
Right? And these are some of the issues that we're having in the community.
Community is bad.
Right? I understand in our relationship, while I am very intelligent, you are just more intelligent than I in a lot of these different arenas. You have a bit more experience than I do. And I have to be humble enough to say, I want to learn. I have to be coachable. I have to be teachable. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't take away from my power, doesn't take away from my shine. I shine like a diamond. I ain't worried about it. But we have to be able to be honest and leverage each other's strengths and weaknesses. In situations where I can be in control, okay, I can be in control. But in situations where you're supposed to be in control, I have to let you have that control.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be humble enough to be like, you in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. So we have a lot of different disconnects and disjointedness in our communities, and it's by design, right?
Yeah.
Poor narratives, trends,
Mm-hmm.
bad music,
Oh,
bad movies, on and on and on and on and on. And I think if we can attack little by little, some of the disjointedness, the obstacles, the challenges, and the things that prevent us from working collaboratively with one another,
yeah.
we can get a lot done, and we can get the outcomes, or what I like to call quality of life points, that
Mm-hmm.
we're seeking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said it's hot girl summer and black girls rock. Don't go crazy, black men. Mr. Simon found a needle. A needle in a haystack. Um, I think though, I mean, I know it sounds corny when you say like I was made for him, but I think I was like literally, I think the Holy One literally made me for him. And if we ever told y'all the back story of us getting together, you would be like,
Well,
oh yeah, y'all was supposed to be together. I'm talking about the Navy thing. And then when
uh,
you moved, I ended up having to do this, and just for us to even get together.
okay.
Cousin Shango, in his final form, thank you for allowing us to see your relationship. It ain't just talk. It's a lot of work. Like, y'all see all of the good stuff, but 23 years, can you imagine? How much work had to go in a relationship, and when we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't know how to do things, and we didn't know how to communicate, and we didn't know how to express, and we don't know how to heal, and it's still a work in progress even 23 years in. But what we do know is that we are going to do everything we can for one another. I know this is his baby, and I'm going to do whatever I can to nurture that baby and raise it like I would any of his children. And that way it gives him the freedom to keep having the visions, to keep coming up with the ideas. It gives him that, right? There's somebody behind me that has
Okay.
faith in
Yeah.
even the craziest of things. And they've had really good outcomes.
Yeah. I'm not. Um, I just we try to keep it crypto, Bitcoin and gold and silver best that we can. But we know that we have to touch on relationships sometimes. Like we don't want this to turn into an all out relationship show, right? But relationships are part of building wealth.
It is. And if
And
you're talking
so
generational wealth,
yeah,
where the generations coming from if two people aren't having relations?
right. And so if you're like, oh, I'm not gonna ever have children, you could build up all the Bitcoin you want. Where's it gonna go to? Your cats? Like, where's it going? And so we have to talk about relationships. It's part of wealth building. And so,
But even the physical networking is important because it takes a skill to physically network with people.
it does, yeah.
It requires a skill, especially in a world that's so virtual. People are awkward. They don't know how to relate to one another. They
Yeah.
don't know how to do conversation. They don't know how to.
Yeah, they ain't got no game, man. They ain't got no game. Yeah, the
God.
youngsters ain't got no game. Listen, we do want to put together a meetup in Mexico City. So, it doesn't have to be 50 people. It could be 5 people. It'd be a nice meetup in Mexico City. Very nice city. If you guys, you'd be surprised how nice Mexico City is. Nice little eateries. We could walk around. We could talk. We do what we need to
And
do.
that way we
Have
can
fun.
be in the
Oh,
physical,
yeah, the physical.
right?
Because here's the deal. Um, I don't want to go here.
Oh boy.
I don't want to go here, but I'm gonna say I am a retired United States service veteran. Okay,
Okay.
so I am also retired from city government. All right,
Okay.
I did what I did. I do not want to ever have to come back to the United States of America. So, could you guys come to me? I don't want to go to the United States of America. You know, my family is no longer there. I don't have anything there. Me going to the United States of America is like going to a foreign country. I have nothing there. I can't even be like, hey, can you pick me up from the airport? I cannot stay. You got a spare bedroom. And none of that. I had none of that. So
The other
I'm
thing,
not
though,
going.
I think that is important is
Come
when
see
you
you.
come out of the U.S. airspace, it feels different,
It does.
right? You can think. Like it's like, you know, when they used to show you the Matrix with all of the numbers falling down around you, it's almost like those numbers are falling down around you like hell. And when you leave the United States, I can see clearly now. The
Different.
rain is gone. It's very different. You can
Different.
think, you can breathe.
People treat you different.
People treat
You
you
know, and
different.
so you know, it's a money thing, but they still treat you a little bit different.
And this is why we tell you guys to travel with intention. You can get so much done in the week or the 2 weeks, however you do your vacationing, right? You can fly out the United States, have your think book. I call it a think book where I put all my ideas and stuff down, and just have like a to-do list. I'm going to research this on this day. I'm going to explore this on that day. I'm going to start implementing or initiating this thing on this day. And you would be shocked in a 5-day period or in a 10-day period how much stuff you can get done because you can think
Yeah, and I'm
and
trying,
focus.
and we trying. We're gonna keep on trying. We're talking to Bitcoin Zay, so he can have his meetup in Mexico
He
City.
already said he was going to do it.
So we're trying to get that so we can meet up in Mexico City, have a good time. We'll show you around best that we can. Depends on what it is that you guys like to do. I'm not on top of everything.
But we'll definitely
But
take y'all to the Bitcoin Embassy bar
yeah,
so that we can have a meetup there. This meetup would obviously be in English. We would reach out to Lori Bitcoin, who owns the Bitcoin Embassy bar, and host a nice event. We would have an event put together for you guys, so it would be a business slash leisure trip of
yeah,
intention.
yeah. So
You guys can ask us all the questions you want, but you can get to see and experience a lot of the things that we talk about on our show. Now, Mexico doesn't have to be your flag planting country. Although I'm looking at Nobility Black, he's asking a lot of questions, so it sounds like he might be interested in Mexico.
okay.
And I would highly recommend you reach out to us so that we can have the conversation and answer the questions you have in your
You
mind.
stupid.
Um,
Oh man, y'all crazy in the chat.
so Singapore might be your country. Uh, I was talking to a young lady today, and she's very interested in Bali. Just looking into the different areas. And I'm going to tell you this, it's very important. In the Bible, it talks about being in the world, but not of the world. And that's very significant. I'm going to tell you why. We are here in Mexico, but we are not of the people here in
Just
Mexico.
one moment. I just got one moment. Junior.
So the things that distract them, the things that take up their time, the things that they get involved in, it's not relevant to us. So they're not distractions, stumbling blocks. They are not anything to hold us back from doing what we're doing. And being taken outside of your environment, your ecosystem, in order to focus, ooh, that's harsh light.
Is that too harsh?
Yeah, it's too harsh. That's why I didn't turn it on.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
Dark.
Those things don't distract you because you're not part of that environment anymore. Some of you probably have to get away from your family, right? And I have to be honest about that. Just because y'all share some genetic similarities doesn't mean you have to allow them to hold you back in life,
It's true.
right?
It's true.
in the Bible, it was a big deal when God told Abraham, come out of the country of your father and go to the land in which I show you so I can make you a great nation. That holds true even today, right? I'm big on my nation building. I came out of the land of my mother and father and friends and family, and we are building an incredible nation through our sons. Right? And you don't have to do this forever. You don't have to do what we do and live wherever you're going to live 12 months out the year. But if you could even do it for 30 days, I'm going to go here. I'm a remote worker or I'm retired or whatever your narrative is, whatever your situation is. And I'm going to get these things done. You would be shocked. You can probably get a year's worth of achievement, a year's worth of objectives, a year's worth of goals accomplished in those 30 days.
And we did a few shows back, 12-week year, right?
12-week year.
So you break your year down into 12 weeks, which is 4 years within 1 year. And you can get all these things
And we get it done because we're not distracted,
Yeah.
and we don't allow distractions. That's another thing. We set boundaries. Sometimes we do get our time wasted, but more times than not, we have served the community, so it's okay, right? For a few people who do try to waste our time. But we're telling you these things because we live this. We've
Okay.
done it. We've gotten the outcomes we desire. We one time, two times, three times, four times, a couple of more times. We just kept doing it, and it works.
Yeah, I gotta.
So try it and share your experience with us if it's something that you can share with
Yeah,
us.
because sometimes it might not be a great experience. I did want to shout out T Will for this. Tell a woman she's a helpmate.
She going to jail.
You going to jail. So yeah, it might be tough over there. I don't know. It's been a long time.
But the problem is,
It's been a
the
long
woman
time.
who doesn't believe that she's a helpmate doesn't have a mate, and she's alone in life. She's complaining about it when life is about relationships, right? Life is about relationships. 1+1 is actually 3. I think Terrence Howard was right about that. He was, right? 1+1 is 3. But 2 heads are better than 1. I mean, I can name all of the
Say
colloquialisms.
2 times. Say that again.
Terrence Howard said 1
I
plus
remember that. I
1
seen that
equals
video.
3. And it's true, right? 1+1, well, for us, 1+1 equal too many. But, when you talk to the women like me, right, who have husbands and see the value in them and understand that they couldn't be the woman they are today without the man in their life, you see their outcomes are way better than the woman who said, if you even form your lips to call me a helpmate, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Oh boy.
Right? You just see our outcomes are different. The way we live is different. We don't live like them and they don't live like us. But we have the outcomes that we actually desire. And it is very different. Now, am I saying our lives are better than theirs? I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't want to live my life without him. And unfortunately, there's coming a day when I may have to. So the idea is, if you have a man or a woman and they are good for you in life, they pour into you, you have to nurture those things
Yes.
because it's hard to come by. It's really hard to come by.
Let me read this because she's just touching on just what we're talking about. I've noticed there are lots of people teaching about wallets, but there are not many people that actually show you how to use and where to store.
How to
And then-
buy and where to store them.
And these are the people we're talking about. They're popping the space, but are you really an OG in the space, or are you just trying to so those people, would raise a red flag. Are you going to show us how to use it? Like, show us how to use it. We need to. I mean, wallets can be difficult. We've dealt with some. They can be difficult, to understand how to use. So teach us how to use them. Don't just show us what they are. We get what they are, but show us how to use them. And those are the people you kind of wonder, like, are you really in this space, and do you really know what you're talking about, or are you just kind of jumping on the train?
T. Willine. Courtney, you hopped in the room and I missed it. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
sweetheart.
you, Courtney.
T. Willine said, Les Brown said, when I'm on my deathbed, if I got a quarter left, I'm going to swallow it because my kids ain't getting nothing. My goodness. We know people like that for real, though.
Yeah.
They're going to spend up all of the money that they have so their kids don't get it. even if that means they have to have $100,000 funeral, and that's asinine. You'd
You
be
know,
willing to give it to the funeral director, but
and
not your child?
you know what those people are called? Called boomers. And boomers messed it up. And we're gonna read, and we did a show on the fourth turning where we extrapolated out on the boomers and what part of the turning they are and who's coming next. And maybe we should do another show on the fourth turning. The boomers want to give it all away,
I
right?
think we should do another show
The
about
boomers
boomers.
want to give it all away, and then we have the next generation like us who aren't boomers who are thinking about generational wealth. But those people, they got retirements, they want to spend it on cruises and what else?
Not
What else?
cruises.
Parties and all this stuff. They want to move to Florida and want to do all this stuff.
And
And
that's okay, but the
it was their
idea that
money.
you're saying
It's their
that I
money.
would rather give this to everybody else, but they got to get, it's just, that's the generational curses that we need to be breaking. Colonel said you sounded like James Evan when you yelled for Junior, so that was funny.
Did I?
David Middleton, thank you so much for joining us. Facts, you related to Reggie Middleton? We be trying to get Reggie on the show. He said, I'm always stressed about being behind on bills. Yes. David, when you have the ability to become debt free, the life quality points, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like ching, 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 ching. It just, your whole approach to life is different. You wake up, everything's easier on you. Two, when you understand saving in precious metals, investing in Bitcoin, and you're able to make up whatever that gap is with your salary and what it actually spends as, that's another increase in your life quality points, because people are stressed out when they're check to check or barely check to check or need to have a second gig in order to just be check to check, right? Now you're working from 4:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night just to have a roof over your head and some food in your stomach. You don't even have any of the extra accoutrements that go along with life. So these are a lot of the things we're talking about on the show. And one of the things we wish people would absolutely consider is, one, be willing to learn a new skill if it is going to add to your life quality, so that maybe you can take whatever salary you command at that moment and make it as much as it possibly can be in a different ecosystem.
Yeah, I see that.
If you have to learn a new language, learn a new language. If you have to learn a new skill, I noticed that a lot of the work from home jobs that pay good money are tech jobs. Look into maybe learning the skill required in order to get one of those jobs so you can live the life that you want. And we do understand that we have to do what we have to in order to do what we want. And there's a lot of work that goes involved in that, but the outcome of it is we are able to raise a beautiful Black family in a country where ain't no Black people are, right? Or in a town where we are unfortunately, we're the magical Negroes. And it builds a better narrative than the narrative they get from their TV about what Negroes are. Little things like that, travel with intention. You guys are gonna take vacation anyway. Say, this first vacation I'm gonna take, and let's say you go away for 2 weeks. It can be intentional week 1, leisure week 2, or leisure week 1. All right, now I'm gonna get serious in week 2, right? It doesn't have to be all serious, but it's about managing your time and your intentions.
But if you're really about doing it, it should all be serious. I mean, it's not about going to Cancun and staying in a resort and drinking drinks and sitting at the pool and all this stuff. Nah, man, you might want to get out here in these streets. And I'm just using Mexico as an example. Get out in these streets in Mexico, walk around, talk to people, ask questions. Yeah, ask
there are
questions.
crypto meetups all over the world. Wherever you're going, I'm sure there's a crypto meetup there. Even if it's not in your language, there are likely people there who do speak English because it is crypto, right? And you can accomplish a lot with like-minded individuals. Simon and I got the chance to meet up with cousin BK Crypto and his education group. And that was like being in heaven. It was like the kingdom of heaven. The vibe, everybody was like-minded, the collaboration, the way things were shared. And we should do a lot more of that instead of sitting around and like, yo, did you hear Drake was getting at Kendrick and he leaked this and Diddy did that and Cardi said this.
That's what my kids sound like.
right? When we meet up with one another, it should be productive and
Yeah.
inspiring and motivating. And we hope that whenever y'all leave our shows, especially since we're hitting the 1 hour and 44-minute mark, there's 67 of you in this room on Saturday when you could be doing anything. You should leave inspired and motivated and ready to increase those life quality points, ready to diversify your life portfolio series, ready to be, a better version or a better iteration of yourself
Yes.
than you were. And that's who your competition is. It's not the chick next door, it's not the chick at work, it's not the dude over here, because men have the penis measuring contest. It is you. You have to compete with you to be your best you. But we need to have relationships with people. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And while a lot of people don't place any stake in that book, is a book of wisdom.
And to the big homie, shout out to him, rest in peace. You know what I'm talking about. What did he always say? What is life about?
People?
It's about people and relationships.
Oh,
So that's what we have to do. We have to build up relationships with people. And, if we can like meet up, and I would like to meet up with people in real life, but I understand, it's tough to get to one place, but if possible, and we could work it out, and we are always easy to reach, and you could tell us anything, and we'll look into it, and we'll
yeah.
figure it out. But
David Middleton, you're right. A real man honors his debt. And that's why I feel so good that when you're able to, clear all of the debt and you don't owe anybody any money,
yeah,
it's a
feels
feeling that you
good.
can't. It's equivalent to probably winning a lotto or something, right? Because now you understand that now that I don't owe anybody anything, this is my money. And I can do a lot more. I can invest more. I can build more. I can do all of these different things because it's not going out to all of these different places. Nobility Black, he said 1 + 1 = 2 is true on a two-dimensional plane, but it equals 3 in a three-dimensional plane. And that is the understanding. Yeah, when Terrence Howard said it, they laughed at him and he was a meme and it was this and it was that. But what he was saying was 1,000%. He said, if it's me and this woman, right? The 1 + 1, we're going to make a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. And it's true. And that's how people populate. So, yes, in the third dimension. And hopefully, y'all, we on our way to the fifth dimension, right? I'm going to be bothering Cousin Rue about that. I be wanting his thoughts on those things. I don't know if you guys got your fifth dimension upload during the eclipse. We went out there, we took our shoes off, we grounded ourselves. But again, we weren't on the route of totality, so it dimmed, but we didn't get the darkness like, a lot of the places on the route of totality did. So
That's funny. You
what,
say he
babe?
pulled did I get it?
What?
I was gonna read the Colonel's. It was pretty funny. Come on, Colonel, you out
What
here.
do you say?
He said, "Yep, I feel you."
Pulling the ripcord on my
Ripcord. You
family.
pulling the ripcord on him?
At least seasonally, yeah.
I feel you.
T. Willine said, no, that meant they won't value it. He taught his kids how to make their own money. He ain't giving them the ability to squander it. Oh, okay, I got you. I thought it was the boomer syndrome. All right, he said, if I give them the quarter, they won't value it. But if I teach them how to make their own, and it's true, right? We had this conversation earlier. When we are the ATMs, right? They want this, they want that, they want the third. But when they start earning their own money, they budget it in a way like you wouldn't believe. Because they have more value. They got to work for it. They don't know when they're going to get some more. They got to wait the whole 2-week period versus, shaking the money tree. I'm dad be telling them no too. Remember the cat lady who gave everything to her cat when she passed? I think Oprah says something crazy like that. Like, she's got these two little dogs, and while she's gonna give it to charities and stuff, I said, you want to outlive those dogs? What are you talking about? I was confused by the whole conversation, and Oprah's a woman of business. So I was kind of like, you smarter than that. What are you doing? But I don't know. I don't ever know what Hollywood be having. It's Holly weird. They be doing weird stuff. I don't know what they doing.
And yeah, we didn't want to keep you guys too long. I
But
guess
we did.
But we did.
But we did.
But if we run this thing all the way back, look at that chart now. You go look at that chart on Friday in a thinly traded market. You see what gold and silver did, and it almost was identical, right? And I don't know if it was spoofing. I didn't go over there and check to see the contracts,
But they probably
but
did.
it probably was,
They do stuff to manipulate the market because unfortunately, they can only be rich if they keep us poor. And more of us are breaking out of that. More and more of us are not ascribing to our wealth being transferred to them,
Yep.
and they're panicking.
And check for this from a technical standpoint. The market will open back up on 6 o'clock Eastern time Sunday night, which still is going to be a thinly traded market. And be on the lookout for more price drop. They can push it down even more because it's thinly traded before Monday morning's opening. And these are the things that go on behind the scenes that people have to understand, because, a lot of people have silver or something, gold, and they want to know why the price moves the way it moves.
Right.
But you have to understand this is behind,
And they're manipulating an organic market,
yeah.
right? So if you look at those lines, don't they kind of look like the lines on an EKG, right? They look like your heartbeat. Y'all know when y'all watch ER and Grey's Anatomy and all of those things and the person died goes flat. That's what flat line is. Woo! The market looks just like an organic heartbeat. And they start doing things to basically have the market have a massive coronary event. And you could see by the drop down.
Yeah, if you look at that silver chart at the end, it flatline.
Yep.
It just drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, off a cliff, flatline. And that's still at the thinly traded market on a Friday afternoon.
And it's organic. It's almost alive when you think about its actual movement. If they didn't interfere with it, if they didn't manipulate it, if they didn't deceive everything within it, it's almost like a living thing. And this is the evilness and, to me, the demonic aspect of how they operate. Because if they just allowed it to be what it is, everybody would have room for the abundance. Right? This earth was created, this environment, this ecosystem was created in abundance.
So,
And they do things in order to force scarcity on people, so they can force fear on them, so they can be in control, so they can manipulate, so they can deceive. That's the evil aspect of it.
yeah, the FUD that they force onto you, fear,
Uncertainty and doubt.
yeah, force it on you. So, we'll get back with you guys. This was an emergency show. Lasted long.
Emergency first strike.
Yeah.
We had 67 people in
Hey,
the room.
shout
Our
out to
goal is
those
to
guys.
have 100 people in the live.
Remember the
Again, we never sell you guys anything. We do ask that you support your content cousins, get you some crypto swag, some crypto gear. It does help support their education group. They are doing physical networking on the ground in Brooklyn. And again, it is an environment where the cost of living is one of the highest it's like top 5, I think,
It's top 5
in the chart
Yeah, Brooklyn,
of
Manhattan.
cities.
It is. Shout out to Crypto Hoops. You bought that dip. Good job buying the dip.
KW1 says she was in the path of totality, so she got the power now. That's so funny. Y'all remember that? I got the power. You remember they used to be like, you need a shower?
Oh,
You need a
okay.
shower. But she got the power now.
She got the juice now?
She got the,
You got the juice now?
How come Reggie don't wear that jacket no more? Because you keep telling me it look like Bishop. Anyway, y'all, we love y'all so much. We thank you guys so much for your support. And we won't be back on Monday. Tino turned 7 years old on Monday. So my baby growing up, he getting to be a big boy. We will definitely be back on Wednesday to chop it up with y'all.
Yeah, send some emails if you got some information or
You just want to talk.
Yeah.
Nobility Black, if you want to chat with us, we'll do a FaceTime with you, and that way we can really dig into helping you get some of the outcomes you're probably researching now.
Okay.
But we love y'all.
Yeah.
Mamba out.